Hey folks, this is Jack McNeil Jr. with the Kempner Church of Christ, and we're here today to talk a little bit about Psalm 119. The last several podcasts have been over the I wills of Psalm 119. If you'll remember, the statement I will, according to the American Heritage Dictionary, is the mental faculty by which one deliberately chooses to decide upon a course of action. And so a statement of I will, this is I have determined, this is what I am going to do. I shall is also kind of related. It expresses determination or promise. It's something I guarantee, I promise that I'm going to do. I shall do these things. And so we saw in verse 8 of Psalm 119 the I will of purpose. And so he's purpose to purpose. And so he's intentionally purposing to know and learn and apply God's will. In verse 15 is the I will of right thinking. He is determined that he is going to think right. He is going to meditate in God's word. He is going to learn God's word. He's going to learn how it applies to him. He's going to take his God's word, and he is going to use it to train his conscience to do what is right always. And so he's going to meditate on it. He's going to think about it. He's going to consider it. And then we saw last time in verse 16 the I will of pleasure. He's going to take delight. He's going to take great pleasure or great joy in studying and learning from God's word. The deeper we dig into God's word, the more we get out of it, the more we enjoy it. At least speaking for me and the psalmist, apparently, he delights in meditating in God's word. There's great rejoicing seen. We see throughout the Bible the conversion of the eunuch, for instance. We see the joy even in persecution of the apostles. And so the I will of pleasure, taking pleasure in God's word and doing his will. And then in verse 32, we're going to be looking at the I will of vigorous effort. Notice here in verse 32, Psalm 119, I will run the course of your commandments, for you shall enlarge my heart. And so think about, the benefits of physical running, of cardiovascular exercise. It is good for the heart. It's good for the circulation. And so you think about, he says, I'm going to enlarge my heart. I'm going to do cardiovascular type exercise, but mental exercise, mentally in your word. He says, I will run the course of your commandments. Notice the effort involved. He's not going to crawl to do God's commandments. He's not going to stumble about, accidentally do God's commandments. I'm going to run the course. He's going to do it all. In other words, he is going to follow and do everything that God would require him to do. But it takes effort. A lot of times we don't like effort, do we? When I was a child, I would chase down, you'd hear that we lived in a little neighborhood, a subdevelopment in Crowley, Texas, and you could hear the music in the summer of that ice cream truck. You'd hear it, the block over. And, oh boy, you run out there, and if you missed him, he's halfway down the block. You're running full tilt to catch up to him. So I'd run like the Dickens, so to speak, to catch up to the ice cream man. But, if I had to eat lima beans, you had to almost drag me to the table. And so again, he's taken great pleasure in God's word, so he's willing to put out the efforts. And so if we love something, we're going to be vigorous in doing it, aren't we? The more we enjoy something, the more effort we're willing to put into it. And so he loves God's word, he delights in it, and so he puts the effort into it. Again, it takes a lot of effort to dig into God's word. 2 Timothy 2:15 says, but study or give diligence to show yourself approved unto God. Studying his word takes efforts. Words like apathetic or slothful are nowhere connected with faithful Christians. Indeed, words like service or servant, labor, toil, and work. Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 10 says, for God is not unjust to forget your work and labor of love, which you have shown toward his name, and that you have ministered to the saints and do minister. And so here, the psalmist says, I'm going to run the course of your word. Not just learn it, but I'm going to apply it and I'm going to live it out. I'm going to do it in my life. In Ezra 7 and verse 10, notice here with me, I'm going to read it as soon as I pull it up here. I just spelled extra. It says here, Ezra 7 verse 10. Come on, work now. For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord and to do it and to teach statutes and ordinances in Israel. And so he prepared his heart. He wanted to seek God's law for himself. He wanted to do it, and he wanted to teach it. That's running the course of God's word. That's exactly what he desired to do. If he is the author of Psalm 119, this goes right along with what we know of him in Ezra chapter 7 and verse 10. So it is the I will of vigorous effort. If we love God and we love his word, we're going to put effort into learning his word and applying his word and living his word. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.